Howdy, good evening, hello. Welcome as always to all you wonderful peeps. Episode 3 is upon us of GeekByte'S GeekCast. I had a bit of a problem this week actually writing this one because things just didn't seem to be happening. I don't know whether we've had a bit of a lull. I suppose the tech world never sleeps, but apart from like cryptocurrency seemingly taking a dip, there wasn't much going on. But I went digging and I found stuff to talk about. Oh yes, I was got to find stuff to talk about. But thank you very much for joining us for part 3, episode 3. Having some good feedback about various things. Most people seem to be enjoying it, enjoying the content. Some people didn't like the background music. They think, they're a little bit not keen on it. But to be fair, the one thing I will say about this is the background music is always on all videos, really. Even if you listen to like a Linus one, there's always some minor background music going on in the back, obviously in the background. Background music in the background, who would have thought? I don't know where you put it, to be fair, in the foreground. But yeah, there's always something just to be there, filling in the gaps. But yeah, if anybody does have any comments, and I am all ears. Yeah, literally, I've got one on my front of my face, there's everything. Please do let me know. Put it in the Discord and everything else, as I'm sure you will. So we've got 7 things to fly through tonight, plus our second Name the Game. Oh yes, I know how much popular it was last week, and how much consternation it caused for everybody because they were like, "Can't see shit, it's too blurry." Well, guess what? It's going to be too fucking blurry again. But we'll get to that in a bit. So we've got a few things to ply through anyway. Various new topics and an update from last week on one of them. But let's dive in. Let's move across and let's bring up. So this week, what have we got? Well, first up, we've got a little snippet about Humble Bundle. Some changes there, which causing a bit of a ruckus in the world of humble bundling. We've also got a Microsoft employee scam. Yes, that's been it's been something that actually happened a little while ago, but it's only generally been surfacing now as to what this particular person actually did. Very clever indeed. This is the update on the Twitch bans that we did touch on last week, regarding a couple of very high-profile lady streamers who have kind of kept a quiet profile of late. However, seemingly there has been a little bit of an update. We've got the LOTRO legendary deeds. Now, this is in relation to the new legendary servers, which we did go on about last week, and specifically the legendary deeds that or the Ds that you can get for reaching certain levels. I've got opinions on it, a bit of a grumpy rant about it, but we shall get to that in a second. We've also got some more BF 2042 news. This one's regarding the partners. It's a little bit weird, but they have official partners, and we're going to see who they are for various things. We've got the new Microsoft Flight Sim update coming, and apparently it is a very big patch. It does wonders for performance. That's going to be launching later this month. And then finally, and this was a little snippet from Keeperellos, who's probably not awake yet, because you know what he's like. He's probably having an afternoon nap. This is regarding getting Windows 11 running on a Raspberry Pi. I mean, obviously it's not, it's not cake or anything, but you know what I mean. So yeah, a little Raspberry Pi. But we'll just back up a little bit. Pi. We're going to talk about Humble Bundle first. Now, sure, a lot of you are aware what are Humble Bundle. If you're not, they are a storefront that you can buy games. You can get a subscription to, which gives you access to games over a various period of time. It's not just games. I mean, that's very remiss. There's documentation for like how to Python program. You'll get stuff about even doing artwork and stuff like that. It is very, very good. Now, what they always have is the ability to do 3 things when you buy something. And those three things are generally to give money to the developers, to Python, Indie. See what you did there, Corwin. Very good.
Thank you, asshole.
Thank you very much, Arkasaur. I just love all that's just said. Thank you, asshole, in my headset. So, cheers, Arkasaur. So you can give money to the developers. You can give money to charity. And obviously that's where the Humble bit comes in. And then you can give money to Humble itself. Now, they have literally caused a bit of a ruckus. Because they're literally altering the way that they are allowing you to give money. Now, for those that don't know, you have in the option when you buy is to move a slider. So your total that you're going to pay, so say you're going to buy a bundle for $50, for example. You have the three sliders. So you've got the developers, you've got the charity of a choice, and then you have Humble itself. Now you can pick and choose how you want to do those. So if you want to give everything to charity, you can give everything to charity. So the whole $50 can go to charity, or near enough. The same with if you want to give it to Humble, you can give it all to them. Or you want a nice even split. So you might go, say, $40 to the developers, $5 to charity, and $5 to Humble. Whatever you want to do, that's fine and up to you. Now, they've actually said of Humble that they are going to change it so that you have to give at least 15% of whatever you are purchasing to Humble. So you cannot go any lower apart from under certain circumstances. So, and it's going to be different per bundle. It's not always going to be the same. So you might have a package that's available, you know, the top package, because they're usually in various tiers of package that you can buy, bundles that you can buy. You might get one that's $100, and they may set that 30% of that is going to go to Humble. You cannot change that. You cannot go below it, but that is going to be locked out. Now, like I say, it's a little bit of a contentious one because the people generally would be aiming towards giving to charity. I know certainly when I purchase things from Humble, I know Keepy, I know definitely Original, they have bought things through Humble Bundle, and in my case, I generally give the majority of the money to the charities. I think that's what it's there for to a degree. I always do give something to the developers because obviously I believe they get should get the kickback from it because they've made the software, they've made the article, they've made whatever it is. So I think they are really the second recipient. And then I always get a bit too Humble. Not every time, but you know, they'll get something. So you can see that from a lot of people's point of view, Humble, they're increasing their basically guaranteed amount from potentially 0 up to 15% is not necessarily popular. But you've got to ask yourself the question, they are a storefront. They are, you know, they're obviously dealing with charities, etc. But they still have costs. They still have people who are there doing the web, probably doing the payment systems, etc. They've still got costs. So is it fair that they now can charge a minimum? Should they be able to take 15% of every purchase of a Humble bundle? Now, they do 100% charity bundles on there from time to time. Literally every penny of that goes to charity. So every penny or cent, dollar, whatever, goes to the charity. They are totally unaffected by this. So if they are basically 100%... My webcam is flickering and I don't know why. Can you see it? It's not... Hang on, let me just do that. Let me just zoom out. It's almost like it's struggling with the autofocus for some reason. And I don't know why. There we go. Let's see if that handles it a bit better. I just noticed it was flickering and I didn't understand why. So, like I say, 100% charity bundles are unaffected. They're not going to be altered in any way. So, every bit of that is going to be going to the charity. Quite rightly so. Obviously, the devs of... or the producers of the material have said, right, we're giving this away, you can have it for free. Humble have said, right, we're not going to take any cut from that. That's fine. But what do you guys think? Should they set the minimum? Should they say, right, we're going to take at least 15%? Now they said it's obviously to maintain, basically running Humble, so you can see their point of view. But should it change? Should it be less? Should it be a minimum? Should it be a out of every sale we take 5%, not 15%? Now, like I say, there's not going to be no option to set it any lower. I think what normally happens is when you purchase something, it will be the sliders kind of auto set. So you might get, say, nearly 33%, 33%, 33%. But sometimes it's a little bit skewed. So, let's see what Original says he's happy with that. That's fine. Coleman's, I'm fine with that as long as I can still avoid giving EA a cent in their bundles. Yeah, see, as far as I'm aware, it's only going to affect the Humble amount. It's not going to affect any of the developers' amount. I mean, to be fair, you could say, okay, EA are the publishers, but you don't. I don't think, or I wouldn't know how much money would then filter down to the original developers. I doubt very much, to be fair. And Originals, I doubt they're doing it being overtly greedy. Yeah, I do agree. I mean, I didn't want to give my opinion and try and sway anybody with saying anything. It's one of those, let's discuss it and see what people think. I'm absolutely fine with it, to be fair. Yes, maybe it should be 10% of every sale. My worry is that all of a sudden they start taking 30% of every Humble Bundle sale. Obviously, they've got to look at the figures. I'm presuming, I don't actually know if Humble are actually classed as a registered charity themselves, or whether they are classed as a company. So I'm not entirely sure, if I'm honest, which is what they actually come under. How long has Humble been around now? It's been a long, long time. It's still the main place for getting charity some money out of a game keys. Yep, indeed. My only issue that I ever have with Humble, and it has caught me out a couple of times, is when I've bought specifically like a game bundle. You might get like, say, 10, 15 games or whatever tier you've bought from the bundle. And you think, right, I'm not going to redeem those keys yet because I'm going to give them away to somebody. And then you go back maybe a month later and think, right, I'm going to give that person that key or do it as a giveaway or something like that. Then you realize it's expired. And you think, well, how can I do that, straight away? Because you're waiting for the bundles to appear. And this is from a kind of streamer point of view. Because they were always very handy for like a Christmas giveaway. I used to do a lot of Christmas giveaways. Once a year, obviously. And Humble is not a charity, it's for a profit business. Yeah, see, cheers for clarifying that. I didn't know whether it was registered as a charity because obviously it gives away, but obviously it's just giving to charity. But yeah, my issue has always been that you get keys that expire and then you think, oh crap, I can't give that away, because there might be a bundle that comes out in, say, February, March time, and then all of a sudden you come around to doing maybe the Christmas giveaway. You think, right, I've got a key for that. No, you go back, our key expired in June, and you think, you can't use it. So you can't you have to redeem them in a certain time. Now, I think once you've purchased that key should stay on your account permanently until it's redeemed. Obviously, once it's redeemed, it then gets cancelled out of the database, etc. It shouldn't then have an expiry date on. I mean, you're not buying a tin of beans, are you? For the sake of, argument with an expiry date on, or a packet of sausages. That's my only gripe really with Humble. I do use them a lot. I do have obviously the link, which I know Original and others have used, and long may they continue. But Napper's put, well, Humble purchases do contribute directly to noteworthy causes. We are not considered a tax-exempt charitable organisation. In general, commercial purchases through Humble would not qualify as charitable donations under the current tax laws for most countries. Yeah, okay, fair enough. That is obviously from their website, because I don't think King Napper works for them, so he wouldn't know that off by heart. So, yeah, there we go. Kind of changes afoot. 15 to 30% is going to be the mandatory, and I hate that word because when it's mandatory, you always feel like it's forced. or enforced upon you, not necessarily always in a good way. But yep, they've got to cover the costs. It's caught me off guard once or twice today. Still think it's a great site. Absolutely, and that's why I'm quite happy to be an affiliate with them. There's been other companies in the past who I have been affiliated with, just for little kickbacks from sales. However, I have found others a little bit nefarious and underhand with certain actions that they do. So I always I look at the company and think, are they okay? Are they not? No, gone, and got rid. But Humble are absolutely fine. Yeah, I thought it must be. I didn't think you were that. I was going to say intelligent, but that's the wrong phrase, really, Kingnapper. Knowledgeable, I think, is the word I'm looking for. So yeah, it's still a great site. Please do use it. I'm not being disparaging towards it or anything like that. It's just a point of note that it's a change that's upcoming, and I'm sure a lot of people will not be aware of it at all. So yeah, there we go. That's the Humble, the changing of the sliders, with everything towards essentially making sure they get a cut of every sale. I'm just going to see if that works. Maybe. We'll see. I'm just trying to put stream markers into the stream. It's the first time I've used it. I've got a button set up on my stream deck just to see if it works. It's just that it makes it easy reference for me to know what time when the topic changes, which, right on cue, we are going to change to the Microsoft employee scam. Now, this is actually quite fascinating. I did think this was quite funny to a degree, not for this guy, unfortunately. It's a guy by the name of Volodymyr Kvashuk. That's a gobble of a name, isn't it? He was a Microsoft engineer, and pretty much he stole $10 million from Microsoft. Unfortunately for him, he got caught in the end. And what he did is Microsoft took on engineers and people to test their systems. Basically, obviously, we know that Microsoft sell all sorts of things for Xbox, for Windows, and all sorts of things. So they'd have people there specifically to test these systems are working properly and not cocking up, giving too much away, etc., etc. Well, he actually realized that there was an exploit and he discovered it because he was doing test purchases for Xbox gift cards. Now, what's supposed to happen is that in every other instance, you purchase something and this is a tester. How you doing, Annie? Good evening, my dear. As a tester, you would purchase something and then you would get given a dubious code, or the purchase wouldn't go through. It had failed, but you knew that it worked. However, he actually realized that the Xbox gift cards were actually the codes that he was getting when he purchased them were genuine. So what he did is he then did a few purchases and then he'd sell them, and he'd sell them for Bitcoin. He was very clever. So, like I say, he was just tested to test the secure payment systems. He found the exploit, but rather than tell his bosses, he saw an opportunity to make a bit of cash. Like I say, with the test purchases, he was going to receive a valid code. It's a 25-digit code, but rather than just not using it, he actually bought the item, obviously with a massive discount because it was kind of free to a degree. And what he did is he actually created mock or false employee accounts that he would use, obviously for people genuinely that worked for Microsoft, and then he would purchase more and more. And eventually he actually created an automated bespoke bit of software to do it for him. He didn't even have to do it himself now. He literally created an automatic piece of software, which was genius. I mean, fair play to the guy. He saw an opportunity. However, like I say, he did get caught. Now, when they actually found out, because Microsoft were did get a little bit dubious in the end because there was a massive spike in the Xbox gift card sales, and they were like, what's going on now? Whether there was a bug in the matrix or anything, you know, with regards his software, but there was a massive spike in the purchasing of these gift cards. Now, what they did is they got, obviously, the FBI involved, and they basically did an investigation into him, and they ended up realizing what he was doing, and he raided his house. And in his house, obviously, they didn't find much, but they found that he had quite a lavish lifestyle, which obviously, when you've been selling these things and, you know, selling them on the black market, the grey market, whatever you want to call it, he was buying it for Bitcoin, and then obviously the Bitcoin was getting more and more expensive. It kind of exploded. So he had to, well, like I say, once they raided his house, they found various notes and of information, and obviously the software and everything. And then they went through literally. They found a list of things that he wanted to do, and he actually wanted to buy a house on a very remote, exotic island somewhere because he was making that much money. It was quite ridiculous how much he was actually money. And, you know, he had this list of items, and they actually showed you this handwritten list, and it was quite superb of everything they wanted to do. You know, like it was a boat, a house on this island. I don't think it was Malibu, but it's somewhere like that kind of thing. Now, obviously, got arrested. They took him to court and etc. Well, he actually got, and I think this was not last year, I don't even think it was a year before, but he got found guilty, obviously, because the evidence just mounted against him, really, and he actually got sentenced to 9 years in prison. Now, the other thing was he actually was going to get deported back to the Ukraine, which he was originally from, which I think he's still trying to fight. I don't think he's been deported yet. But their biggest thing is they've actually fined him $8.3 million that he's got to pay back. Now, obviously, he hasn't got the funds because either he spent it or they've taken that off him. But now, I think they called it restitution or something like that, that he has to pay $8.3 million back. So pretty much, he's never going to pay that off. He's never going to have anything. He's in jail. He's possibly going to get deported back to his homeland of the Ukraine. And time to go to work for Saudi for a bit. So, yeah, like I say, an ingenious scheme. However, like Napa did say there, he just got a little bit greedy, and obviously he got caught out. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic story when I found it, because it was on PC Gamer. I was having a little read through of it, and I thought, wow, this is phenomenal. I've got to use this bit, you know, because I was just when I was searching for things that had happened, this one story came up, and I thought, this is unbelievable how he's got to get away with this. But sadly, it caught up with him there. So it's the part where he wanted to win the maximum millions of dollars that really caught him out. Yeah, exactly. Dear. But yeah, like you say, Colwyn, a very clever use of the gift card mechanics. And I mean, this is the argument I think that people say is that, how you doing, Charvel? Can you restart? I'm late. Well, you can go sit at the back of the room and think about why you're late, Charvel. You even asked me yesterday. This is the irony thing. You even asked me yesterday what time it started, and I said 7:30 UK. And he was like, "Hey, okay." No, fair play. Don't worry. Like I say, it'll always be up on the tube review for people to have a look at if you want to. But never fear. Yeah. You don't meant to mention that. I know. Sorry. But yeah, I know what you mean, Colm, with the gift card mechanics. It's very, very clever. And the argument is obviously where you get places, and I won't name them. I'm not going to say their names, but there's always the stigma that they are, you know, these gift cards are bought with such things as this. You know, people have ripped off somebody, they're free or whatever. You know, stolen credit cards and everything. This was mentioned the other day, and I've never seen it. I've never seen the details of somebody. I know there was one big instance a lot of years ago, and that was one specific company that kind of were dabbling in the dark arts, should we say. But nothing really other than that has ever come to light, to be fair. So yeah, unfortunately for Volodymyr Kvashuk, yeah, he's penniless, probably homeless. Well, he's not homeless because he's in prison for 9 years at least. So whether he's in the federal prison in the US or he's been deported back, yeah, I am not entirely sure. But Reed got the better of him on that one, unfortunately. Right, next up is just a little update on the Twitch bans. So obviously we were discussing last week the two infamous ladies, Amaranth and Indie Fox, who had various bans for their streams. Now, one of those, Indie Fox, has actually been banned 6 times in 2021 alone. Now, I know we're in July, but that's one a month. She's getting 1 ban a month. Now, it's been found that her Twitch partnership and affiliate status has been totally revoked. So basically, she's been banned permanently. Now, normally what happens after a 3-day ban or whatever, you do come back in, your status is redeemed or whatever, even if it's like a 1-day ban, 12 hours, whatever, etc. But Commander Root, obviously, you will see from time to time even in my channel, it's a bot basically that comes in, checks for statistics. Very clever thing written. Well, he's also on Twitter as well, and somebody had put about Indie Fox, etc., blah blah blah, and he actually flagged it up that that they, under their status, they were banned. Now that was up to the time I wrote this yesterday. Now whether it's changed or not, I'm not entirely sure. But as far as we know, she has been banned and lost her Twitch partnership, which, okay, it's a downfall. She hasn't got a platform to, produce content on. I do use that, loosely in the sense of what she was producing that got her banned. I'm sure she's got other talents that she has. Because I think she can play guitar and sing, I'm not saying she's a complete, just a booze babe or anything like that, that's just there for anything like that. So there is obviously other skills that she has, but her outlet, her platform of Twitch seemingly has gone. But as obviously Original just mentioned there, she's still got OnlyFans. She'll still have other outlets. I'm sure she'll pop up on YouTube, etc. There's a lot of ceiling fans indeed. So there's plenty of options still out there. But yes, she's got other avenues. Yes, she's lost that. But has she really lost it? Now, the thing is as well, they were looking at the averages of her streams, etc. She's getting 10,000 viewers per stream. Now, okay, she's certainly hitting a definite demographic in those streams. It's not a choice for everybody. And she's got 2 million followers as well, and that's on Twitch alone. Now, if you're Twitch and you see those numbers, yeah, 10,000 per stream, people watching, 2 million followers, are you really going to ban them for ever and a day? Are you just going to say, look, lay low for a few months, then we'll see what happens? Let it all die down, because that, you got to remember, is an income for Twitch as well. It's not just obviously her or anybody else that's a big streamer or anything like that. It's an income for them, as we said. But obviously, Twitch normally do not say anything about bans. They never have. Even when they kicked off Dr. Disrespect, they never said, and apparently he still doesn't know to this day the real reason he's been banned. So if not only OnlyFans, 100% YouTube, great starting video, I got banned from Twitch. Exactly. Do a Keemstown, just come back on a different channel that someone always owns, and you are golden. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to stop them, is there? That's the thing. There's ways around it, and I'm sure people in high places could facilitate that. Again, if that does happen, you still have to call out Twitch and say, well, look, what's the point of a ban then? If I'm little Johnny No Mates, you know, that's a little streamer, I'm going to get banned permanently because you don't give a shit about me. But somebody who's obviously breaking your rules because you've obviously banned them, then because they're seen as a big income, you're just letting them back in. So is it right? Is it fair? Who knows? But it'd be interesting to see. Now, the other girl involved, Amaranth, apparently still has the channel. She's not been permabanned or anything like that. But they have kept a very low profile, seemingly. So whether they've taken this as a, like, look, you could potentially lose your channel here, just behave, you know, keep your head down. Who knows? But certainly they've gone very, very quiet about it all. Not much posted on Twitch, Twitter, or anywhere else. So we'll see. Me and Napa got banned last night for our farming simulator stream. Too many cow titties on show. That does not surprise me at all. Not at all. Not at all. God's sake. See what I got to put up with. See what I got to put up with. Mostly do what Doc did and start streaming on YouTube, and now he is bigger than ever. True. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I never liked Dr. Disrespect. I didn't like the style, but I appreciate the production values. But when you're making money hand over fist, you can basically say, I want to do that. I want that doing. I want this. I want that. And you can. That's fine. Oh, Jesus. We're into the dad jokes and everything here, aren't we? It's utterly despicable. Now you're milking it. Blimey. Yeah, it was more what Original was doing with the cows. Exactly. Don't really want to know, really. Scary. So, but yeah, Dr. Disrespect, didn't like the character. I know it's a persona. Got caught with his pants down. And then obviously got banned. And then obviously got, you know, restarted on YouTube. We only have 4 females. How else were we going to breed them? Dear God. Shocking. Right. On to LOTRO Legendary Ds. Now, this is to do with the Legendary servers that they've just released. Shadowfax and Treebeard. We did mention them last week. They did launch. I played them. You saw me do a little bit on Shadowfax. Now, they seem to be an okay experience. They seem to be fairly popular at the moment. Now, this centers around the difficulty slider that they've introduced, which eventually is going to come on to the normal servers, so your Evernights, your Arkenstone, etc. That is the plan, seemingly. There's confusion, and it's caught me out, and I think it's going to catch a lot of other people out, and it's to do with this difficulty slider. What else can I say? It's, you know, it's SSG all over. They seemingly haven't thought it through, or they've caused a problem by not being aware of it. So who knows? But pretty much, and this is the official statement that they have said. Prior to level 11, on either Treebeard or Shadowfax, you must lock in your chosen level. But if you switch levels, it will cancel the deed. Okay, now there's 2 deeds. There's one for choosing the hard difficulty and reaching level 50 and level 130. And there's also a deadly or deadly plus deed. So anything above, so you've got normal, I think you've got hard, then you've got deadly, deadly plus, etc. Now, if you play it on deadly and above, there's another deed available. And all it is it gives you a title. There's nothing fancy smancy, just an account-wide title. Now, I tested things on the Legendary of Shadowfax just to see whether you get a little icon that tells you how much XP more you're earning on Virtue and leveling XP. I thought, I'll just see. So I set it to Deadly. Yeah, ran around, played that. I went to Deadly 6, ran around, nearly died straight away, that kind of thing. And then when I was speaking to the NPC, I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to see what differences and how low you have to set it to get the maximum extra XP and the maximum extra virtue. Because from my testing, Deadly and Deadly 6 Plus are exactly the same. You get nothing extra apart from a greater challenge to kill things by being on Deadly 6. Now, that's probably aimed at more group play, obviously, you know, if you want to do that. But XP-wise, there's no boost for you from doing that. You might as well just play on Deadly if you want the 20% extra XP and the 5% extra virtue XP. I then switched it down to hard. I thought, I'll see what that gives me. And that went down to, I think, 10% extra and then 2%, I think it was, of virtue. And I thought, right, I'll just switch it to normal, back to normal, to see whether that just totally dissipates. And it did. It went. And then I switched it back to Deadly and I thought, right, I'm sorted. You know, I was still level 9 or something at the time. And then all of a sudden, I was hitting back up to Deadly. So I was back where I was. But it was all before level 11. And they kept mentioning this level 11. And I was getting a bit like, okay, as long as you set your level of difficulty that you want to play at by level 11, jobs are good. Finished playing that day. Came back the following day. Logged in. Boom. Deed disappeared. I was like, where's that gone? Where's my deeds gone? Where has my deed for playing at either hard and above or Deadly and above? I thought, where's that gone? So I was doing a bit more, diving into it and a bit more investigation. And literally, I even went through back my old VOD just to check what I'd actually done. And seemingly, as soon as I changed that deed, that difficulty level from Deadly back down to hard, and then from hard back down to normal, it cancelled the deed. And this was at, like, say, level 9, level 10. Now, I was a bit peeved at it because I thought, well, why isn't there ever a warning apart from they tell you that if you change deed, before level 11 and all this crap, why don't they literally inform you that do not change your level once you have set it? Okay, because if you do, you're going to lose the deed. Now, they could say that they could argue that they've done that. However, they brought in this arbitrary level 11. Now, this has caused confusion for me. I'd like to think I'm not an idiot, but it confused me as to what we were supposed to do. My understanding and what I thought was going to be was, as before you dinged a level 11, you had to set your level that you wanted to play at for the rest of your leveling career on that alt, which I thought I'd done. However, because I'd switched down to I'd like to think I'm a million doesn't make it true. I know where you're going with that original. Thanks very much. But I thought as long as I have chosen by level 11, that was it. It's going to be. But I'd switch back down and, to normal and come back up again. And it cancelled the deed. And it just bothered me that they kept saying by level 11. Now, we've got a big issue with this. Now, especially on Shadowfax. Maybe not so much on Treebeard, but definitely on Shadowfax. When you start a character and you go into the starter instance, you're running around. You can't change the difficulty slider because you can't do it until you come out of there. But you're on a 50% more XP server. So by the time I came out of the starter instance, I think I was level 6 or 7 anyway. Now, normally you're about 3 or 4. You're not that high. You're obviously 50% more. And you then dumped out. Now, they said by level 11, I've only got like 4 levels from, say, there to, when I came out of the starter instance. Exactly, Mandalorian. Thank you very much for confirming what I thought and what near enough everybody else seemingly I've spoken to thought. And this is what Mando's put. This was my understanding as well. I thought you were supposed to use 1 to 10 to try the difficulties out and then choose your final spot by 11 to lock in your deed. Exactly. And that is what it should be. And this is what pissed me off. Because it isn't. It isn't that at all. Right, I came out starter instance, level 6, 7, whatever I was, and I thought, right, shit, I've got like 4 levels here to test out what level I want to be at. Now, I'm accelerated on my XP already. I'm thinking, crap, what do I do here? I haven't really got time. So I set it to deadly, and then tried deadly 6+, and I thought, and then I wanted to test just because people were watching. They wanted to see, you know, what the level was going to be, you know, how difficult was I going to get the extra XP by dropping it down to hard. Oh, I got 10% for that. What happens if I drop it down to normal? Oh, yeah, that totally disappears. Right, I'm all right. I can still do it. No, you can't. Exactly what Mandalorian said there. You cannot change it as soon as you drop it down. Now, this is where SSG are going to create an absolute fucking storm for themselves if they do that on live servers. Now, Treebeard's busy. Yeah, it's the busier of the two because it's the slower servers. That's fine. You're not going to run into this problem as much because you aren't nearly at level 11 as you are on Shadowfax. However, Shadowfax, I saw maybe 250, 300 people at most on that server whenever I was logged in. Yep. You go and then launch this difficulty slider on Evernight, probably the busiest server out of the lot. You generally have more than 1,000 people playing on that server. The Brawler's going to come out soon. If they bring out that legendary switch, the legendary slider, when the Brawler comes out, a lot of people are going to be creating new alts. Yeah. So what they're going to do, they're going to be creating a character, doing the starter instance, coming out, and if they don't know this happens, they're going to do exactly what I did. They're going to go, oh, I'm going to set it to deadly because I think it's going to be tough. I can manage that. Let's go to deadly +6. Oh, shit, I'm getting my ass kicked. Right, let's just drop it back down again. Ooh, let's see what hard's like. Is that any... Oh, we'll try hard. Oh, I don't really like it. I'll go back to normal. Ah, there you go. That's the deed. Now, it is only a deed, and I'm not trying to create a mountain out of a molehill over a deed. But if they try and implement what they would like from this in any other form, shape, or whatever with a slider, it's going to cause a problem. And when it hits the live servers, there's going to be a lot of people going, where the fuck's my deed gone? I've only done it because I wanted a deed. And then, yes, later on, you can, if you then realize that you aren't going to get a deed for playing at a certain difficulty, you're then going to just drop it back down to normal and think, fuck it, I might as well just play as I was. Now, going back to like Mandalorian said, that is what they should do. Absolutely. They should turn around to you because level 11 is arbitrary at all. It's just bloody arbitrary. There's no reason for it. Make it level 10 or whatever. But you should come out of your starter instance. You will find Berthadan, who is the NPC ranger that you talk to. Yep. He can then give you the option and say, right, and specifically state it, up to level 11, level 10, whatever, you can try different difficulty levels without penalty. Yep, without penalty. But if you, at level 11, then switch your level to a lower level, you will cancel the deed. Yep. Allow people to test because... I haven't got onto that yet. Original Jesus. I didn't even put that into the thing, but thank you for reminding me. That they really should just say, right, nobody's played this before. Nobody, unless you've been on the legendary servers, because you're going to get new VIPs. You're going to get new subscribers when Gundabad comes. You're going to get new people who think, I want to try out that. Ooh, but I can also maybe go on the test server. You know, I say test server, really, Shadowfax and Treebeard aren't test servers, but they are at the moment. They're testing this feature. I think that, like I say, when it goes live, they need to have the option for people to test things, try it. Just say, well, I don't like Deadly +3. It's too difficult. Can I swap it back down again without penalty? Can I? But give them until level 11 to lock it in. But they're just, and it's just, for me, typical... SSG where they don't think things through. The other thing that peed me off as well is the tooltip. The tooltip says that it's that for the deed is that between level 50, you learn this title by getting to level 50 and level 130. Yet on the website, I think it's on the website, it says level 50 and level 100. We haven't been at level 100 for a long time as the max, and it's just like, come on, that's just proofreading. You're going to confuse people because somebody's going to come along and go, I thought I got the title at level 100 but I didn't. It's like, well, no, you don't actually. Sorry, it's level 130. It was a typo. Oh, does that mean I've got another 30 levels to go? Yeah, well, I can't be bothered. You know. It's dead on the right. Very good, Coleman. Very good. So yeah, that's that one. Don't get started on the LOTRO rant. Yeah, I don't mind the bean. Keeps me on the toes. So it can be lost. So last time, yeah. So yeah, like I said, the workaround has to be that they give you until level 10, level 11 to go up and down the levels as often as you bloody like. If you want to go back down to normal, that's fine. Just at the last minute, you think, fuck it, I'm going to go deadly. I'm going to try and level through this server a little bit quicker, but I just want a little bit more of a challenge. That's what they should do. None of this, oh, don't do that. You should, what I also think should happen is when you get to level 11 and it's locked in, Bertha Dan should send you a mail, because NPCs do send you a mail and say, right, you are now locked in at this difficulty. You cannot change it. Otherwise, you will lose your deeds or whatever it is going to be. In fact, I mean, they could even do it so that you don't get deeds or anything like that. But just a warning to players that as soon as you hit level 11, you are locked in. Do not change. Do not do anything. Why not a female? It's called the new name of Skybird. True. Yeah, you could. I mean, they're very corny with both their puns. So yeah, you would almost think they were split from the same egg or something. Really would. Yeah, I mean, I am going to touch on what Original said as well. That fucking Eye of Sauron. Jesus Christ. I know, Manda, that you didn't mind it too much, but the screen blur, I think, can be turned off. Someone did tell me that you can turn it off because it's post-processing, apparently, so you can bypass that. My issue with it is it's supposed to last 3 minutes. I was getting it, keeping it, trying to avoid it, and then it disappeared, even though I still had the fucking eye above my head. That didn't work very well, did it? Because you'd think you actually had the Eye of Sauron on when you didn't, because it was a big visual purple eye above your head. And then I'd get it back again straight away. The next thing I thought, oh, look, and then I know it keeps you on your toes because you have to move. You got to get out of that area, or otherwise the buff happens. But it was too often. That's my problem with it. I was expecting you'd maybe get it, because it's 3 minutes. I was thinking maybe you get it once half an hour. You know, that's still 6% of your game time in that half an hour. You know, for 3 minutes. In an hour, you know, you've got 6 minutes of having it. That's a pretty decent amount, I think. Well, I think anyway. You know, my maths is probably wrong there with percentage-wise, but you see what I mean. It's a tenth, isn't it? Sorry, yeah, 6 minutes. If you have it for 6 minutes in an hour, it's a tenth of your time. That's a lot of time to be under the Eye of Sauron. I tell you what, I know he's got a big eye, but he fucking sees a lot, isn't he? When you've got a few hundred players running around. I think that needs tweaking. I think they need to back that off a little bit. Yes, give maybe more buffs to the enemies rather than having the area on the ground. There's normally a square that's kind of turns into a nuke zone. If you stand there, you just get hit, and then when you're on the higher difficulty levels, you can easily lose half your health. I think it's triggered by how many mobs you're killing. I noticed it picked up in the frequency when I was chain killing. If it is, I think that's a bad idea, because you're pretty... Yeah, it's Sauron, more like Shelob with all the eyes, yeah. I actually think that is probably a bad idea to do it, because, I mean, I was playing a champ because I thought, do you know what, it's going to be easier to level because he's, you know, DPS, he's got survivability. And I was getting my ass kicked left, right, and center because I was having to deal with that all the time. Now, does that then make it a little bit easier? Thinking about it, does it make it easier for hunters? Because the target box, I mean, I don't know because I didn't play it. Does the target box, the nuke square, very good, I think we call it that, the nuke square seems to appear where you're stood. But is it just because I'm in melee range that it appears around the mob? I actually don't know how that works. But I think what would be better is just a random number, like player A, you know, twice per hour, so it appears around the character. That's fine. If that's the case, then obviously it will cause the hunter to need to move as well. But is it because I was on Deadly and Deadly Plus, etc.? Is it because of that the amount of time? Make it difficult, and I'm not against that because that's what it's there for, to make the whole leveling experience a little bit tougher. But that was really starting to annoy me, how often it was. I might as well just have had it on permanent and just said, look, you're playing on difficulty Deadly Plus or Deadly Plus 3, Deadly Plus 6, whatever. Just stick it on me permanently, debuff me permanently all the time. But yeah, that tactic nuke that just hits you, as Mando quite rightly said, you can't always see it. I mean, I'm trying to think, somewhere like the Red Horn Lords or something like that that's got like a red floor, and that is a red box that's around you. You ain't gonna fucking see that. Anywhere that's in the Flaming Deep, sometimes as well, it can disappear if you're in water. It's not sat in the proper level. So yeah, extra mob abilities and corruptions. I mean, it could be like even on the missions where they call in another mob. You know, if you don't kill them quick enough, or stop an induction or something like that, that they can call in an extra mob, and you're like, oh shit, this is just getting tougher. There's that possibility. But out of everything, I just really hope they tone it down for the amount of time that it goes off. Because I did see in the world chat that other people were having the same problem. I mean, I wasn't killing things particularly fast because I was playing on such a higher tier of difficulty. If I would have been on normal, for example, or hard, where I was absolutely chewing through the actual mobs, then fair enough. But I wasn't. I was stood there taking my time with some of them because it was difficult. It was, and that's what it's supposed to be. But then don't make it doubly difficult by, you know, like, I'm watching you, Sonny. Yeah, I'm just going to keep watching you. And then, oh, yeah, I've got the eye on you. I'm going to watch you again. And then, fuck it, every time you moved. So, thanks, Original, for bringing that up. You did just give me PTSD there about that fucking Eye of Sauron. I forgot about that. Did my head in a little bit, but hopefully they'll change it. Peeping Sauron, indeed. Just curtain twitching. Yeah, let's hope they fix it. Shadowfax is more of a problem, like I've said, because of you're so quick on the leveling anyway that you just don't get the option to, you know, choose the correct level that you want to play at. Because nobody knows what it is when they walk in there. But if they're not going to give the deeds on live servers, that's fine. But don't cancel the deed. Just literally set the deed. But if then by level 10 or level 11, if you then decide that you are going to play on hard rather than deadly, take that deed away. Cancel it, you know, and just give them the hard deed. There's always a way around it. Oh, very good, Corwin. Sauron is working in the ICU. We're expecting you to buy a car without a test drive. Exactly. Did we actually mention that the other night? Did you? Yeah. I can remember. It just sounded familiar. Yeah. That's your analogy. Well, we'll go with Magic's analogy on that one. But yeah, you don't know how fast it's going to go, but we're not going to let you drive it to find out. We're just going to tell you it's going to be difficult, or it's just going to be, you know, we're going to fly along at a specific speed. Right then, are you ready for Name the Game Part 2? Da-da-da! I've even got it set up now. Look, here we go. Look at this. Right, I'm just going to get rid of that. Don't worry. Boop. So, just to run through the rules again. Okay, just so you know. Wait 5 seconds, have to hit an elite. Indeed. I'm going to reveal the picture in a little bit. Don't panic. So I'm going to reveal the picture. It's going to Mario. I tell you, if anybody starts guessing beforehand, I will discount their guesses. Ooh, you be steady. So I'm going to reveal the image. It is going to be blurred. There's going to be a timer that's going to last for 60 seconds. If nobody guesses the correct answer, then I'm going to de-blur it some more, and we'll reset the timer, and then we'll see. If still nobody gets it, I'm going to de-blur it a little bit more, and then we'll reset the timer, and then we'll see. Hopefully by then somebody will have found out the name of the game. So are you ready? Are you ready? I'm going to bring up my timer. Okay, I have a timer ready. Look at that. Got a timer. Yeah. So I'm going to refresh the timer and I'm going to bring in the image. Right. There we go. What the fuck indeed. Magic's just said those prized words. What the fuck? Indeed. I've really need to concentrate on this because I actually, at Corwin's last week, I actually missed it. Didn't I? His answer. It's fucking difficult. I can't give any clues anyway, so you've had 30 seconds. Like I say, it just gives me time to have a breather and have a drink. Non-alcoholic. Right, we've had 2 guesses up to now. This has fucking stumped everybody, hasn't it? Oh, ooh, like Kane, I've got Shavels. Do you know? Shadow of Mordor. Oh, I can see you. Very good, very good. Yeah, I can see you with that. Right. That's it. That's it. So we're going to de-blur the image a little bit more. Let's de-blur. Once I find it. Where's my blur gone? Where's my blur gone? There it is. Wow, that's double blurred. Hang on, that shouldn't have done. Bear with me. I've double blurred it. That's not what we need. No filters. Right. That's what I wanted. Sorry. That was a blur instead of the blur. I just make it. Do you know that is all? Sorry, I need to actually point. That is only at 80% blur. That is only 80% blur. Right. Right. There we go. That is 50% blur. Off you go. James Pond. Fucking hell, you're digging out some old games here. Destroy all humans. I just love this fact that everybody's stumped. They're like, what the fuck? Postman Pat the LSD is. Pong. Yeah. Some type of Elder Scrolls game. I love the simple fact that you're all barking up the wrong tree. That isn't a clue, by the way. There we go. There we go. There we go. So that's that one done. Right. We're going to de-blur it again, LOTRO. Fuck it. Well, that'd be ironic, wouldn't it, if you hadn't got that one. Right. So we're going to de-blur it a little bit more. It's something to do with trees. Right. So we're going to take this down to 25% blurage. Right. Go. Oh. Bump's in for a Call of Duty. How you doing, Bump? You're incorrect, by the way, my friend. Incorrect. Boom! We have a winner. We have a winner. Well done, Napper. We do have a winner. Left 4 Dead 1. It is indeed Left 4 Dead. And I will reveal the image. There it is. And the answer, just to prove it, is Left 4 Dead. It was indeed. Well, it is indeed. It is Bill. Well done, Napper. Well spotted. I thought it was such an iconic picture of obviously that character. Now, I was bothered. Very close, Charvel. Very close, actually. Mercy Hospital map. Yeah, at the top. Yeah, where you climb to the top, don't you? And then you're waiting for the chopper to come and get you to take you away. I was bothered that people were gonna actually guess Left 4 Dead 2, but obviously it's not as good a image. If you didn't get that one, Napper, I'd have been ashamed. It must be obviously a very much of a favourite for Napper there. to spot that. But thanks for picking the game over 1,000 hours in. Fair enough. Again, it's totally random. I just thought, right, let's have a look. Should we see what game I can find? Never played any of the Left 4 Dead. Now, I've played more Left 4 Dead 2, to be fair, and it is a good game. Quiet witch. Don't wake her up. Do another round. This game is the best. Great games. No more chat. Just this game will look for 3 hours. Yeah. Yeah, it is something I just want to throw in every week. Pills here. God, yeah, all the iconic ones. Yeah, absolutely. So there we go. Well done, Napa. Well done, my friend, for getting that. Very cleverly done. Very cleverly done. So, like I say, with 1,000 hours or more into your playtime on Left 4 Dead, if you didn't know it, we, like I say, would have been quite shocked. So yeah, back for, but I have heard a little bit about that. So we shall see. We shall see. Right. Did I actually miss that? Where did I put that? Can't actually see. Oh yeah, waiting for another quiz night there. So yeah, sorry, I was scrolling too far up. I'd seen. I didn't like the new beta, but yeah, quiz night. Just a shame I can't do another charity singing stream in it. Yeah, rolling in it. I like cat form anyway. Indeed. Right. We are going to move on because otherwise I'm going to be talking for 2 hours again. I'm trying not to do that. Next up is Battlefield 2042 Partners. Now, that's not, a co-op game where you can only play with your spouse. No, sadly not. It literally is that EA, obviously, have announced their partners for various things with it when it comes to 2042. Now, if I say NVIDIA, everybody will know where this is going. They're pretty much the official GPU partner. So the game is going to be up to... Hey, Annie, don't worry. I'm not going to be permanently on shoot 'em ups. But pretty much the GPUs are going to be optimized, or the game is going to be optimized for NVIDIA GPUs. So things such as DLSS is going to be in. So the deep learning super sampling 2.0, which is obviously embedded into NVIDIA cards, that's going to be there. Also, ray tracing we think might be in, but it hasn't been confirmed. Oh yeah, black and white was the last one. Yeah, from last week. So we're not entirely sure whether ray tracing is coming in. We think it is going to be because people have meticulously gone through some of the videos and just seen like how the reflections have been working and everything. So they think it might be in, but they're not entirely sure. DLSS is very good currently on NVIDIA hardware. 2.0 is a lot better than 1.0, and it does give you an improvement in performance for an improving texture quality, but obviously upscaling is how it does. Love guess the game. Just do it now instead of LOTRO from now on. Yeah, I just spent my whole life doing quizzes, shall I know? Do you know what I actually didn't notice? Just to go back to the guess the game, or name the game. Come on, let's get the name right. We can't get the name right. It's name the game. Is that nobody complained too much about the blur. They know what to expect now. The last time they're like, fucking hell, I can't make that out, blah, blah, blah. Name the game, indeed. So, yeah. Also, the other thing is Reflex, NVIDIA Reflex, which is the latency between your screen updating and your mouse clicking. It's built into certain monitors and very much a niche thing, but obviously for the people who are into high-end FPS gaming, it's an ideal technology. They've also said that on consoles that it's going to be the Xbox Series S and Series X that are going to be the preferred consoles. So they're pretty much, I think Xbox have maybe put more cash in, should we say, than Sony to be the exclusive console partner. So what we'll find is when you see other videos, it's going to be Xbox logos everywhere. You know, this is captured on Xbox. This is, you know, available on Xbox, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you will get it. It's, how much did we give? Was it 5,000? I can't remember what I gave. What did I give you last week? I can't remember for getting black and white. Was it 1,000? Or was it 5,000? Geek coins. I can't remember what we said. Was it 1,000? Was it 1,000? All of a sudden the numbers are rising. Yeah, I can't actually remember, but I will. If you, it was a few blurs in it. Yeah, and Colin can't remember either. But never mind. I think it was. I think it's 1,000 anyway. We'll double check. 1K. So Napa, you can't see my channel points. Yeah, remember channel points are different to geek coins. I'm giving you geek coins, not channel points. I cannot give you channel points. Exclamation mark geek coins. I think just to say, we are a team indeed. We are a team indeed. I knew someone. I tell you what, you can have make it rain though. So you can have 395. Not a lot, but there you go. So just to go back to the stories that we're supposed to be going through. There we go. So yeah, he's got 14,000 anyway. You don't need it anymore. So yeah, Xbox Series S and X is going to be the console partner. Obviously, it's going to have exclusive improvements on that platform over Sony's and their PlayStation. But hey, at the end of the day, it's whoever's paid the most money. Hence why Nvidia are in the same position with the GPU. They've also done similar to Call of Duty. They've partnered with a storage partner, and it's going to be same as Call of Duty's actually. It's Western Digital in this one, who are going to be releasing various SSDs, plug-in USB drives, etc., all with obviously the marketing of Battlefields plastered all over it. The other thing is, and I think it was what was the same for Battlefield 5 as well, the peripherals is basically going to be Logitech again. So you're going to get your keyboards, you're going to get your mouse mats, you're going to get your mice, probably headsets. I'm not surprised if there isn't, you know, some kind of eyewear that they will bring out as well. But that's going to be Logitech, so expect loads of Logitech products coming up in September, October time, nearer to launch. And the last one is a little bit weird, because if you remember the trailer where the little mini bird comes to the top of the tower after escaping the two alligator choppers, and then he starts mowing down all the troops on top, and then it cuts to somebody getting onto an ATV, basically a quad bike, and then they drive the quad bike, and then it launches off the side of the building, and then they blow up the with some C4, etc. Well, the actual vehicle that they use in that is called a Polaris. Now, they're the manufacturers. They're Polaris. And they make ATVs, which are all-terrain vehicles. Well, they're actually the official off-road vehicle partner. So whether they're all of a sudden going to be having Battlefield versions of the ATV or something, I actually don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, is that? So who knows? I mean, it was something that I actually thought that from the trailer, you remember where there's three people in a little Malaysian taxi, and then it gets caught up in the whirlwind of the storm. Are they going to have an official tuk-tuk partner, you know, that's going to be running around with Battlefield logos plastered to it, etc.? So who knows? Who knows? But that's that, like I say, a little bit weird, that one. But it's the official partners. Obviously, they're going to announce it. I do believe later this week, Wednesday, there is an EA event. It's not the the Tuk Tuk Biscuit Company in talks. yeah, very good. Tuk Tuk. Wow. There is an EA event later this week, and there's a feeling that they're going to be revealing a lot more. Just add just the odd Coke machine around the maps. Yeah, I think you'll probably find stuff like that as well, targeted marketing within games. Just as a little side to that, there was a thing I saw on Twitter today, and obviously around a football pitch, you see all the hoardings that are all digital now. They change and everything. There's all the advertisings and everything for the partners. Well, a very clever technology, a bit like green screen. They pretty much, to the companies that are actually broadcasting it, they broadcast a kind of blank image, and then depending upon where you are in the world, the advertisings on the hoardings actually are changed. So you will get something that's maybe relevant to your country. So, for example, there might be an advert on the hoardings for a life insurance company, for example. Well, it might be something in the UK. Say for example, we'll call it Aviva, because we know Aviva do life insurance in the UK. But then you might go to somewhere like that's broadcasting it and watching it in Turkey, for example. And then they'd have their version of the life insurance company or a life insurance company at the same time. And they actually showed a 4-image video of, I think it was a championship game from the UK last year. And it was quite phenomenal because every screen had a different advert on it, but the actual people running around, obviously with the same people, it didn't change. It wasn't superimposed or anything like that. It was just a way that it actually, just to add, other drinks are available, indeed. And it was fantastic. So it's something that is going to happen. I know they've already looked at putting in targeting marketing into games, and it's been a little bit like, fuck off with that. But it will come, no doubt about it, no doubt about it. I mean, we've obviously seen product placement not only in films and TV, and it's going to come in video games, so I don't think there's anything we can really complain about with that one. But as long as it's not too intrusive, that's the problem. We were always bothered about intrusiveness of that. Right, next up, hit the right key. Microsoft Flight Sim. Yes, that chestnut that is quite phenomenal. Basically, you're flying around Google Maps. It's a superb looking lush game. I did stream it a while ago without where everybody was hoping I'd crash on landing. Don't know why, you vicious people. Well, coming this month apparently is an absolutely huge patch, but it's aimed at one thing and one thing only, and that is performance. They've pretty much they did a stream I think it was early last week, outlining what this patch is going to do, and they showed off actual performance figures and actually did it live via the wonders of the internet. Because they said what's happened is the majority of the time it's the CPU that is stuttering. It's always causing bottlenecks. So what they've done is, by rewriting a lot of the engine code, and this is why it's such a big patch, and the base architecture of it, they're offloading more of what the CPU does to the GPU, which obviously we know that GPUs are very powerful anyway, especially modern day GPUs with all the Tensor cores, their RT cores, and everything else that's baked into NVIDIA cards especially. So what it also has allowed them to do is to actually reduce the resource requirements on the memory. They were finding that at times with high-res resolutions and obviously screen resolutions, high-res textures rather, that they were using up to 16 gig just for the game alone. Now, a lot of people might think, oh, that's fine. You know, I've got 32 gig. But if you're running a system that's only got 16 gig, you're seriously going to be hitting a bottleneck with your memory capacity. Now, the game would generally go, you ain't going to be doing that, sunshine. Sorry, you're going to have to back that off a little bit with your textures. However, what they've actually did is they showed that they could get it from 16 gig down to 5. Now, that's a hell of a reduction just for everybody. I mean, not just, you know, people with 32 gig or more. I mean, I run 32 gig and that wouldn't faze me, but then obviously you've got your operating system still taking up. If I was streaming, it'd be all the different programs that are used for streaming, you know, and all your drivers and everything running in the background, because obviously there's an overhead for just your operating system. So getting that down and increasing the performance is quite phenomenal. They're actually expecting most people will see an uplift of between 20 to 25% of an improvement. So you might think that's not a lot. I'm only getting 30 frames per second, 40 frames per second. But if you're getting 40 frames per second, all of a sudden you're now getting maybe 50 frames per second. So you can see that's, quite amazing. And then and I don't know for definite, but if they have anything like DLSS built into it or can be utilized, that would help immensely as well for the textures, etc. I'm not saying that NVIDIA are the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to GPUs, because they are not, because they pretty much have been absolute wankers when it comes to the latest series of GPUs that they've launched, and people need to not forget that when things get back to normal. Just to add a little bit about that, seemingly prices are starting to slide again after the whole Chinese cryptocurrency market has been slapped down by the government over there. It is seemingly a lot of second-hand GPUs are coming onto the market again, but not at scalp prices. They're starting to come out at near enough the prices that people paid for them, but obviously they are used. But obviously more availability means more people are able to buy. So things should hopefully start to improve. Now, we've had this issue with the GPUs for quite a while. Obviously the whole world is struggling for silicon chips, etc. So maybe we will see a slight improvement soon rather than later. But yeah, it's going to take a little while, but let's hope that the slide does go down to pre-COVID levels, and not that people like Nvidia and AMD take it down, but then keep them back up to 20% above pre-COVID. Yeah, be careful with the Chinese second-hand markets with all the organ harvest going on. Yeah, it's like, hey, ooh, I sold my kidney for one of them. Oh, literally. Exactly. This is in reference to Microsoft Flight Sim. 4K 30 FPS on the console. It is going to be interesting. I mean, I suspect that is obviously only going to be on a Series X. I can't see them doing 4K on a Series S. I think that's going to be a little bit too restricted. But still, if it can maintain it steady, and it has to be steady because it's all right, like kicking around 20 frames per second and then one frame when you're looking up at the blue sky that it hits 30 and calling that a win isn't really running smooth, is it? So, but yeah, obviously I think hitting that target, because obviously it's coming out on Xbox Series X as well, of 4K 30 FPS has meant they've had to do this rewrite that we were just talking about on the engine and the architecture just to achieve that, because there was no way it was going to get anywhere. So hopefully across the board that's going to allow us to get better performance. And if consoles now are so powerful that, let's be fair, there are mini PCs with their SSDs, their GPUs, CPUs, etc., just wrapped up in one little box. It's going to push the PC market as well, which is good. It's good for us all, really. We're not hampered as much. We will find over time, and it always happens, when a new console comes out, it's nearly at the same specification as a modern PC. These certainly are. The Xbox Series X is definitely up there with modern PCs. 5 years' time, 3-4 years' time, when new GPUs, new CPUs come out, the modern PC will have stretched its legs and pulled away. You can't really do that with the console unless a new console comes out. So it always gets to a point where PCs are held back slightly by consoles, and then obviously they make the generational jump, and then they catch up again, and everything's hunky-dory, and then it jumps again. So we shall see. But currently, it's good all round for us all. Fingers crossed. So let's hope on that one. Right. Last but certainly not least is a doodly little story. And this, I'm going to have to blame Keepy for this one. I'm going to put the link into the chat anyway so you can have a look at. Basically, Tom's Hardware, they actually managed to get Windows 11 running on a Raspberry Pi. Now, if you don't know what a Raspberry Pi is, you can click that link. You'll find out all the information. Basically, think a tiny, tiny little computer. It's about probably that big. Tiny little thing. that can be used for all sorts of things, but it can be used as a little media encoder, for example, not media player rather, and in this case as a PC. So because of the issues with the trusted platform module, which we've seen. How you doing, Tom? Which we've seen over the past week or so, which a lot of modern motherboards have, but some don't, and it's causing a bit of an issue. Literally having a Raspberry Pi allows you to run it. Again, it's not the best case scenario, obviously, because we'd rather have them running on the modern PCs. But they did it. They managed to do it. They got Windows 10 running. I say, rabid badgers come to the fore there. Like I said, they got Windows 10 running. It ran a bit like a dog on a Raspberry Pi. However, because there is actually a version of Windows 11 for ARM64, which the Raspberry Pi can utilize very, very well, they actually got it installed. Very convoluted method. If you want to read the article, please do. Certainly a hellish way to do it. Fascinating to do. I'm sure if you're interested in that, but for me, way too much like hard work. But they did get it running. It did seem to run decent, but like I say, it's because it was based on that architecture that's it. Shouted at it and hit it with a spanner, indeed. Oh dear, shocking. So because the Raspberry Pi, indeed, Tom, indeed. Like I say, I think it's because the version of Windows 11 was specifically done. Yes, yeah, that is the end date, King Napper. But yeah, having the ARM64 version available, which is absolutely the best thing for Raspberry Pi, just proves that it is usable, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, 2025 is when basically support for Windows 10 is going to run out. It's still going to be updated. People don't have to jump ship yet. As I said last week when we were discussing, obviously, more details about Windows 11, it's going to be available in October for new PCs. So you're going to see it on laptops. You know you're going to see it on there. You're going to see it on new desktop PCs from big retailers like, you know, Corsair, Origin, etc. All those Razer and stuff like that. They're going to be on there. For people to upgrade, and it is going to be a free upgrade from Windows 10, that is going to probably happen early 2022. They have said it may roll out a little bit earlier, but I think what's happening is the new PCs are going to be the beta testers. So they're going to try, they're going to see what happens, if there's any flaws that come about. They don't want millions upon millions of people having access to it. And then, again, it just smell like a beta test. Put it out on, you know, a few 100,000 PCs because they're brand new, laptops, etc. Get them out on there, see what bugs they find before we let it out. Literally let the floodgates open on everybody getting a free upgrade that's got a Windows 11 or Windows 10 PC, because you can guarantee that's going to break a lot more stuff, and they won't want that because it'll be a PR disaster and then it'll be an engineering disaster because they'll have to fix it. So it's going to be a gradual process, I think. No idea when it's going to happen, but they have said early or first half of 2022 where most people are going to get access to Windows 11, as long as you've got an existing Windows 10. Now, if you don't, and if you are running an older version such as Windows 7 or Windows 8, I think there's still, if you do have a little Google search, there's still a way to actually get around a free upgrade, because there was a time period where they said you can go from Windows 7 to Windows 10 or Windows 8 to Windows 10, whichever you want to do, for free. And then they kind of did a cut-off date. But I'm fairly certain that there is still a window of opportunity for that to happen. But you'll have to do a bit of Google digging for that. But I think you can still do it. So if you are running older hardware or an older system, not necessarily old hardware, you might be on a modern system, but you're running Windows 7, you really should be starting to upgrade, because Windows 7's, I think it's actually ended support officially was it last year or was it earlier this year? I can't remember now. But I think that's kind of gone by. When support for Windows 10 ends, which is it sounds like a long time away, 4 years time, Windows 10 will have been out 10 years. So that's seemingly the lifetime. We won't mention the normal, Windows 10 is the last Windows. Yeah, how does that work? Obviously, it's not ready for a live service, is it yet? As a constant, in literally, you just have Windows, and that would be it. So, yeah, I definitely recommend upgrading. I know there's a lot of old hardware and tech out there which is a bit problematic because of drivers, but for my peace of mind, security would be the more opportune. But that's not to say that, and I know probably Corwin's feverishly typing there, Windows is not foolproof by any, it's not bulletproof, foolproof, whatever. There's holes in it like Swiss cheese, I'm sure. However, it's probably less holy than a Windows 7 PC is right now. So that's my recommendation. Take it or leave it. That's entirely up to you. So that is pretty much it for this one. I do have one more thing. It's a new game that I didn't actually know existed, which I found only about half an hour before we went live. So it doesn't look bad actually, but I'll play out with that and let you have a look at it. So yeah, we've had the changes at Humble, the different sliders, the minimum payment towards Humble, that's coming in. We had the Microsoft employee scam, which obviously he probably enjoyed it while he could, but then he got his fingers burnt by being a little bit greedy, and now he's facing 9 years in prison, or he's sentenced to 9 years in prison, possible deportation, and fined $8.3 million. Oops. Then we had a little update on Indie Fox, who seemingly has lost her Twitch partnership, etc. I knew he'd come in at something we would call one. The LOTRO legendary servers and the difficulty slider, yeah, and the Eye of Sauron. Yeah, okay. Hopefully SSG won't will revise this before it goes on live. I really hope they do, because otherwise they're asking for trouble. Name the game. Well done, Napper. It was indeed. Well, I won't say the name just in case anybody watches this on YouTube and later on if they've missed it. I nearly gave a spoiler there, didn't I? Nearly gave a spoiler. We went through the new BF 2042 partners. Obviously, bonkers. Some of them. Yeah, we'll see on that one. Hopefully, like I say, an update in a couple of days at their EA event. Luckily, original people won't see the chat when it's uploaded, so so you can type whatever you like. They do not see the chat when I upload it, so you can screw yourselves, you nasty pieces of work. And then Microsoft and their Windows 11 running on a Raspberry Pi of Tom's hardware. Yeah, have a little look at that. Fascinating little story, getting it to run. Which you should get a fucking like. They can't see that either, original. And I'm not going to you know, I'm sure they actually expect me just to actually repeat what they've just wrote. I can repeat that. Time to go to the YouTube comments. I'm going to ban you. Right, so I'm going to play you out with a video of a game that I was quite fascinated. I didn't even know anything about it. And hopefully you can join me for another one. Any comments, any feedback, please do plonk it into the Discord. So you can follow me on the socials as always. You know where I am. And thank you very much for joining us, getting involved, and hopefully we'll get and have some information this coming week, some tech news that we need, because it's been a little bit slow on the ground this week, but maybe something will happen. Good job, those are getting better. Good job. These are getting. I don't know how to take that actually. Original. He says, "Good job. These are getting better." It's almost like the first one was shit. You should have the Twitch on the vid at all times. Yeah. So no, that's my full comment this time. A sincere compliment. Thank you very much, original. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, Napper. I had thought about it, but I'm definitely not. Definitely not. So right, out with the vid. Enjoy, and I shall see you in the next one, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Danger Zone.